Is any
There's-
there?
Okay, they've started the recording. Do you want to do the roll call again on the recording, or do you want to just leave it?
Yeah, let's do the roll call again, please.
Okay. Let's do the roll call, please.
Director Rabu,
Here.
Director McLeod,
Present.
Director Glee,
Here.
Director Sites,
Here.
Chair Gilbert.
Here. Okay. All right, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of the September 14th regular board meeting. You have those in your packet. Are there any questions or changes? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So move. Sites.
Got a second?
A second.
Okay. Moved by Director Sites, seconded by Director McLowan. Will you pull the board, please?
Director Rabu, you're on mute. You're on mute. Director Rabu,
He's saying, hold on a moment.
oh,
Yeah.
I think
Aye.
Okay.
Director McLeod,
Aye.
Director Glee,
I'm going to abstain. I wasn't there for that meeting.
Director Sites,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. Okay, minutes are approved. Next on the agenda is Resolution 23 LDC 09, approving and adopting goals for LDC's fiscal year 2024 investment in economic development activity. Roger, you're going to cover this one?
Yes, absolutely. During the fiscal year that ended, this is really the investment activity approval and adoption of certain goals for the LDC for fiscal year 2024. So during the fiscal year that ended in June 30, 23, the LDC board approved and funded only one loan, totaling $150,000. There was two other loans that were approved but weren't funded for $398 that weren't closed yet. So anyway, the creation or retention of approximately 105 full-time equivalent jobs. And for the remainder of the fiscal year 2024, the staff recommends that the LDC set a goal of approving and funding at least 4 non-SBA 504 loans, the amounts general ranging from $30,000 to $150,000 and totaling at least $400,000. So anyway, that's kind of what we want to try to do for the new year for 2024.
Okay, and this is one of those requirements that we have to set this goal.
Yes, SBA wants us to, or the EDA, I think, wants us to go ahead and give a number of what we're going to do, for the year 2024.
Are there questions? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So
So
moved.
move.
Late.
Second. Sites.
Okay, moved by Director Gleat, seconded by Director Sites. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Director McLeod,
Aye.
Director Glee,
Aye.
Director Sites,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. The motion passes. Next on the agenda, Resolution 23 LDC 10, electing directors and officers of the St. Louis Local Development Company for the 2024 term. Roger?
Okay, following individuals are seeking election to the board for a one-year term beginning January 1, 2024, and ending December 31, 2024. And I think I'm going to go over the board and then the officers and then the non-voting officers, and then we can obviously kind of vote them or make a motion on all those three categories. That'd be okay. All right. Anyway, for the board of directors, Laura M. Gilbert, James Seitz, David McQuarrie, John Reeves, T. Christopher Peebles, Ann Gleit, Rabu Ahmad, Frederica McLeod. And that is for the board of directors. For the officers of the board, Laura Gilbert as president, James Seitz as vice president, David McQuarrie as treasurer, Rabu Ahmad as secretary. And then we also have non-voting officers, which are Neil Richardson, executive director, Rodney Krim, vice president, Roger Schlitter, assistant secretary, and Zachary Folk, assistant secretary.
Are there any questions? This is one of those things we have to do this every year. We're still missing a member. I don't know what the timeline is on that. I have asked Neil a couple of times, but I don't have any response from him recently with regard to adding our director. It would help with our difficulty of getting a quorum sometimes, but we don't. Are there any discussion? If not, I entertain a motion to approve 23 LDC 10.
McGlown, so moved.
Wait, second.
It's been moved by Director McLeod, seconded by Director Gleet. Will you poll the board, please?
Director Rabu,
Aye.
Director McGlown,
Aye.
Director Gleet,
Aye.
Director Reeves, you're on mute.
Aye, sorry, thanks.
Director Seitz,
Aye.
Chair Gilbert.
Aye. Okay, resolution is passed. We've all signed up for another year. Next on the agenda is discussion of the independent loan review and the SMART report. Roger?
Okay. The independent loan review, SBA requires all CDCs to really adopt an internal control policy and conduct an independent review of their loan portfolio every year. We actually picked 2 loans, and I think with our portfolio, that's the number that we could pick. Daryl Scott actually did the review for Sugar Witch LLC, and basically said that there was that everything was okay. Let's see, hang on 1 second. Yeah, he did not find any or reveal any major deficiencies in that one, and I can read off all the.
Roger, there should be a notation that there was one deficiency that I discovered.
Oh, the accuracy and timeliness of risk rating loan classification assigned by loan officer.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Yes. Now we could tell you all the, how the loans were reviewed, but there's about 10 items. I don't know if you want me to read them off.
No, they're specified in the memo. If everybody had
Yeah,
a chance to review that.
Okay. And then the second loan we did was Safeway Foods, and Mr. Fredgren, Jace, found that while the loan had been risk rated in May, it had not been consistently risk rated on an annual basis, but he did not find any other deficiencies on the loan. Corrective action going forward, the credit analyst is going to place greater emphasis on industry trends and averages. when risk rating the loans, and we'll discuss these trends in the risk rating analysis. All loans will be risk rated at loan origination, prior to loan closing, and on an annual basis thereafter, using the risk grade policy that the LDC board approved on September 22nd, 2022. The risk ratings will be recorded in the Ventures Loan Management Program.
So that's set up to be done now on a regular basis. It's on somebody's calendar or list.
Correct.
Okay. Are there any other questions or discussion about this loan review? Okay, I don't think there's any voting action we have to take on this.
Okay. No, I don't think there is. And then the other thing is the SMART review. And
Mhm.
SB does a SMART review, I think on an annual basis, where it actually reviews the different CDCs. Most of the items our scores were really with the peer group. We did have one deficiency, and that was industry concentrations. And in the industry concentration was professional services. We get a lot of smaller loans that are the electrician or whoever, but they're all bundled into that one category on the NAICS code. And that's the problem. They're actually different loans or different industries, but they're all bundled in the same one when it comes to the code that the classification code. So anyway, I think we had a 40.59%. It was a higher risk because of that. But I don't, we're kind of looking at it like there's really not much we can do unless we want to limit loans, and we really don't want to do that. We want all the investment jobs we can get. So anyway, that was really the only concentration, that we had, and the only kind of negative on that SMART review.
And that's included in your packet as well.
Yes.
Did anyone have any comments or questions on this? Any of the other staff? Daryl, you are Linda, have any comments?
No, Roger covered it. The reason why that it's considered a higher risk is because that high concentration level where with professional service, which can be one of our loans deals with a company that collects parking fees. Another one's an accounting firm, advertising firm, marketing firm, and it's just a higher number because we don't have a high number of loans, and so it magnifies that number.
Sure.
But the beauty of that category is that number is these loans in question are not a problem. They're all paying according to terms.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is the status of accounts. Chris.
That's me. I don't think you guys I didn't give you a final, did I?
I didn't get anything after that draft you sent this morning.
I apologize. I just sent it. Nothing significant change. There were some comments that I had Linda fill in, but the numbers are definitely the same. But maybe you'll get them. Shall I hold for a second?
Yeah, to see if everybody gets it in there.
I apologize.
Email. Whoop. Let's see.
I just got it.
I don't have it yet.
It's really the same.
Okay.
With maybe a typo or two, and then some comments that we can go through. And I'm sure by the time I get there, you'll get them.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So the financials, the draft and the final that I just sent are for the month ending November 2023. We had $5,200 in revenue. Didn't have any expenses this month, so we had $5,200 in net income. That brings the fund balance down to just over 100 grand. That is on the negative, but as you will recall, that is headed in the right direction. We started at a negative 122. We didn't close any loans this month. Your portfolio consists of 82 loans. That includes those 10 small business resource loans that probably need to come off of there. But anyway, principal outstanding on those 82 is well over $11 million. The next four lines below just break out what those 82 are made up of. The in-house normal funding loan, amortizing loans, 53 loans at just over $6 million. As I referred to the 10 small business resource loans of 33 grand in principal that did not get repaid. And then the SBA loans, we have 19 loans in our portfolio at 5.2 million in principal outstanding. The delinquency rate, I do it, the more appropriate one is on the 8 loans at 1.1 million of principal outstanding on those delinquencies, which gives you a appropriate delinquency rate would be loans outstanding to loans delinquent to loans outstanding is 11.11%. Principal delinquent to principal outstanding 10.18%, 10.18%. I'm sorry. If you include the small business resource loans, obviously the delinquent rate goes way up because you're including 10 more delinquent. But if you look over to the right, you'll show that it's pretty insignificant on a dollar outstanding. It's only 33,000 additional, so it only bumps your delinquency rate from 10.18 to 10.46. Tracked you for an awful long time the delinquency that this board has written off, which is probably something we need to do here with the small business resource loans, and there might be a couple other. But anyway, we've written off since 01 90 loans, 4.1 million of principal that we wrote off. We collected on some of those. We've collected 21 fully, and we've collected 20 partially. So we've collected 1.2 million in principal on those written off, the ones that Sport said they're no longer performing. So your net write-off was 69 loans since March of 01, and 2.875 million in principals that we have lost. The aging is the final thing on the page, and it distributes the 72 amortizing, including the SBA. It does not include, as I say, those 10 small business resource loans. Next page is a picture of our financial statement, and it is a picture of what I just told you. We had 5.2 million, or $5,218 in revenues, and of course no losses, no expenses. So that's what you have in net income, and your fund balance is at negative $100,000. I remind you of this very often, but the reason we're able to carry a negative is if you look over to the right, you'll see the accounts payable SLDC of 162,000. They're passive in their collection. They're patient with us, so it allows us to carry that negative balance. The next two sheets is a picture of our lending program. You have $3.7 million of cash sitting in the bank. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loans that you'd committed before this month. To be honest with you, I don't know the status of those 5. Maybe we can talk about those. But if they would close, 698,000, you'd still have $3 million in the bank to lend out. And the $3 million just is broken out on the next page of the type of money, type of cash that it is, if you will. We have $1 million in the EDA COVID repayment. We have 2.1 in the old, what used to be the old EDA repayment program, or EDA loan program. If you recall that program, both the EDA and the Metro were both federal programs that have been defederalized. So as long as we operate based on the board's conditions that we've set up for those repayments, we're okay. We don't report back, and it's lost its federal flavor, if you will. But anyway, you have the first bank program. We have 106. Actually, have 101 in repayments, and there's 5,000 in that 106 that has yet to be funded by First Bank. We hadn't. There was 5,000 of unfunded dollars that should we do another one, we'll pull 5,000 from First Bank, and then 5,000 from the repayment pool. The Metro again, 164. The LDC RLF repayment pool. That is a pool made up of funds that when the Fed EDA recaptured some money, there was dollars that locally we had put into that. Well, when they recapture their dollars, they don't take the local funds with them. So we created a pool, and we've made some loans with it, and the repayments that are sitting in there is almost 56,000. And then the UEL program, we have 268,000 in cash, and then we do have the small business resource loan, the 16,000. Really, that belongs up in when we funded the loans, we funded them from that EDA repayment pool. So it's really one and the same. That 2.1 million and 16 can go up there. I just kept it separate while the program was going, and I haven't put it back into the program. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loans are listed below, but as I said before, if all those close, you still have $3 million in cash, and that's a little different from historically. In the past, we had money that CDA had, or when First Bank started up, that First Bank would hold, and when we would do the loan, we would request the money, and then we'd close the loan. All this is cash in the bank. We can close the loans tomorrow if the deals are ready to roll. The last 3 sheets, just a comment on the delinquent loans. Linda filled this out for me, so we can go through that. I always like to brag on the last sheet because it's the SBA program that all at this point are current. But the second to last and the third to last, the CDBG and non-CDBG, are the delinquent loans in our portfolio that we've made comments, and we're open to questions as you may have them. That's what I got.
Does anyone have any questions for Chris? Am I on mute? I can't remember.
No, we can hear you.
Okay. It's, can we believe anything the guys at Evolution tell us?
All I can say, because I'm not talking with them directly. I know Bill has talked with them, and Linda had a conversation with John today. All I can say is his excuses are getting closer. He used to say, well, think I got some money come in, or he told Bill today that he's supposed to have he's supposed to talk with this investor and get a commitment. I don't know if you can believe that or not, but that's what he told Bill today, this morning. Hey, Linda, are you on?
Yes, and that's what John told me this morning too, that he had an investor coming in from out of state to look at everything, and if they're satisfied, then hopefully the money will come. So, it's been a series of different things that have happened, but John felt fairly optimistic today. So,
Now, he is an optimistic guy.
Yeah. And we've gone along with him, I think,
Oh.
as about as far as we want to go at this point. He's got to step up here. Any other questions? I see Chris Goodson has agreed to meet in January.
yes,
I
he
know
is.
he's got pretty much everything he owns on the market.
Yeah.
What's our collateral in that one? Just seconds on stuff?
Yeah, we really don't have much of anything other than really the personal guarantee. But
We have his and his wife's personal guarantee. We have both.
right.
So that may give us some leverage on our loan that other people don't have. So
Mm-hmm.
any other questions on the delinquencies or any of Chris's report?
Nope.
Okay. Roger, can you give us an update on the 504 and what we've got in the pipeline, or?
Yes. Actually, on the SBA 504 program, we have several loans that are in the process of closing. We have had some problems with some of them when it's taken so long. So I've got about 2 loans. I've got Seed Sprout Spoon, and then we've got the gas station convenience store. That both of those are in a process, but they've been in a process for a while. But we do kind of think we can close those 2 loans, and I think Zach has 2 loans that are closing also. I have 2 loans that are in construction, Arbelope, and then also C&M Interiors. Those are both still in construction. C&M Interiors should probably be ready to close maybe March, April. So anyway, and then as for new loans, I know I had Bowen Barbershop, which we haven't gotten to SBA yet. We've had a couple problems with information, but we should get that into SBA very shortly. And that's a construction project too, so it won't close immediately. And then we have a couple projects that are new. We had a franchise that a client's been working on for a while that I think James Seitz is working with, Jim Seitz. And then we also recently had a plumber that's in the city that's actually wanting to buy a building that is in a redevelopment area. So on that one, and he's pretty good. I mean, I looked at his financials and he's making money. So I think you guys will like that loan when we do bring it. He's still getting me information. So anyway, I think we're doing pretty well there. On the other loan activity, where we have the $3 million, I think Daryl has had meetings with me and Zach, and we were throwing around ideas to try to rectify, to try to get out some of that money. So, I mean, I might throw it over to Daryl to see, if that's a correct assumption.
Yeah, right now we've got 4 non-SBA loans approved, heading towards closing. We've got a couple in the getting ready to be set, hopefully being ready to be presented soon. And we've had some activity in terms of calls. We're simply just waiting on information to get in, whether it's the application or financials. We're finalizing our training program so we can get out there and start meeting with banking groups, accounting groups, and so forth.
I know one of the problems we've had is that a lot of the banks either do the deal or they don't do the deal. But we're getting very few banks that that look at a project and call us up and say, hey, you guys got any money to put in this thing?
Yeah, this is
So
also
we really need to do something to tell them it's available.
this is also a rate environment, you know, Laura, as you're aware of, we still have a lot of potential people not simply just ready to pull the trigger. They still don't know where the economy's heading. This has been a bigger issue probably in the SBA world, where a lot of banks have been steering their customers towards 7(a)s instead of 504s, because the feeling is that the rates are going to start to come down starting next year because it's an election year.
Any other things to bring to the group? Our next regular meeting is scheduled for Thursday, January 11th at 3. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So
So
moved.
moved.
Okay, moved and seconded by Directors Clown and Cleat. Double move.
Double
All
move.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Okay, we're adjourned. Everybody have a great holiday.
Thank you.
Do have a good one.
Talk to you next year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye.
Happy holidays.